We have on the live line this morning Special Agent with DEA St. Louis Division, Mr. Michael Davis. Welcome to the show, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Good morning.
Thank you for being here. Because, drugs, I always tell the kids, not even once. Nothing goes in your lungs but air. Drugs, not even once. Because I was an idiot when I was a kid, and I hung out with people who are now, their brains are pudding. So,
right.
Not even once, man.
I understand. I mean, hey, look, unfortunately, we have to prepare our loved ones and our friends and relatives about what's going on out there, and because there are a lot of drug threats, and of course, over the past few years, fentanyl has been our greatest drug threat nationwide, and it's mainly because of the many overdose deaths.
Yeah, I lost a nephew. I lost a nephew to fentanyl last year on Super Bowl Sunday. So I am so angry about fentanyl and the open borders. Just the way that it's coming in by land, by sea, by air. It's coming in from China and everywhere, and it's impossible to fight this without people saying no to it.
Absolutely, and it's of course it's money driven. I mean, these cartels, they don't care about the citizens here in the United States of America. They buy those precursor chemicals from mainly China, but also India. They ship it to Mexico. Those precursor chemicals go to clandestine labs in the jungles of Mexico. They create the fentanyl in both powder and pill form. And those fentanyl products then enter the United States mainly through the southwest border, through our ports of entry, and of course sometimes between our ports of entry, like in the middle of the deserts down there in Texas, Arizona, California, you name it. Of course, when it arrives here in the United States, sometimes it will go to what we call stash houses in different cities along the southwest border, and at some point during the distribution process, it will hit our interstate system, and then, of course, go all over the United States, and of course, some of it destined for the heartland of America right here in Missouri.
Yeah, and it makes me very angry when people always blame the parents when the children do drugs, because if you didn't do drugs and your children got around with some people who said, "Oh, come on, you big weenie, just try it. It's fun. You're going to have fun. It's not that big a deal." Everybody does it, and your kid falls to peer pressure, does it, now he's addicted, and then they say, "You should have parented him better." I'm like, I can't follow him around when he's 20 years old and make sure he's not putting something in his body. You can't do that. All you can do is teach them right, but they still make stupid choices.
Absolutely. And one thing that we try to do at DEA is we have just really beefed up our outreach program, because like you're saying, I mean, hey, look, peer pressure is tough. And and unfortunately, our young people they experiment, and at DEA we are really getting out there to the schools, to town hall meetings, job sites, churches, reaching out to politicians to make the public aware of the dangers that are out there, and what to look for. The different nicknames or that these chemicals are being called, and just so that we can, of course, prevent overdose deaths.
Yeah.
Because that's what's of course killing a lot of our young people between 18 and 44 years of age.
Yeah, it breaks my heart, and it really does turn their brain to pudding. They think the government's after them. People are hiding in trees. They've got cookie sheets on the window. They think people are shooting lasers at them. They go loony, and they become a mental illness factor on the street, and they become homeless. And I think we have a bigger problem than we realize nationwide, but here in Missouri, meth and heroin still seem to be king. I know fentanyl's all over the place too, but those have never gone away.
Well, so here's how we rank it here at DEA. Fentanyl, of course, is going to be our number one drug threat because of the overdose deaths. Mm-hmm. But yes, it is followed by methamphetamine, and the reason that is followed by methamphetamine is because methamphetamine comes in bulk quantities. By volume, meth is for sure a close number two. Mm-hmm. And but now here's the thing: fentanyl is being mixed with heroin, cocaine, and heroin, and in a lot of cases, it has actually replaced heroin. It's a synthetic opioid, and it has just completely replaced heroin. So a lot of times, and the thing is, a lot of times, people suffering from substance use disorder don't know what they're taking. You may think you're taking heroin. You may think you're ingesting cocaine or crack cocaine, but it's mixed with fentanyl. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's why we're getting a lot of overdose deaths. I don't know if you remember back in 22. I think it was around February or March of 22 when they had this mass overdose event in near the Central West End. Mm-hmm. Pretty much, you had some dealers in an apartment building who just received a shipment of crack cocaine. They started selling to their usual customers, and of course, the dealers didn't know what they were getting. But they went ahead and sold to their normal customers, and 8 people died in that event. 13 people overdosed, but 8 people died. Yeah. And because they had no idea what they were taking. One lady involved, the one lady that passed on, she was 70-something years old and had been addicted to cocaine for years and died when she got a deadly dose of fentanyl.
It just makes me sick. So it says that it looks like the 2025 National Drug Threat Assessment has improved from last year.
Yes. So here's the thing: at the national, state, and the local levels, overdose deaths have dropped, and of course, we want to continue this downward trend. I do believe that this is a combination of enforcement, outreach, and the availability of naloxone. Now, there could be other factors involved, but in my opinion, those are going to be the top 3. Enforcement, and of course, just us getting out there, not just DEA, but I'm talking about your prevention people, your faith-based organizations, you name it, and your state and local law enforcement. Mm-hmm. We're all engaged in outreach because we know that we have to get the word out there, and we want to make it so that your friends, loved ones, kids can make an informed decision when they're presented with that opportunity to try a drug.
Yeah, and the strength to just say no. I'm not doing that to myself. I'm just not. I'm not down. Not doing it.
Right.
I said no to hard drugs my entire life. It was around me. It was everywhere, and both of my children fell to the temptation of hard drugs, and their lives have been pretty much disarrayed. But I watch my grandchildren who are staying away from it for the most part. Thank you, Jesus. But all these kids vaping marijuana, these young kids who are vaping marijuana, we only have 3 minutes left, but they call it a gateway drug. I disagree with that because I smoked like 16 bales of weed in high school and I never moved on to anything else. But it's a weak mind that wants to move on to other things because they feel like life is hard and they just think this is going to make it easier, but it's the opposite of that.
Yeah, I look, I mean, yes, do people make bad decisions sometimes? Absolutely. But, I want to put more of the blame on the drug traffickers.
Yep.
They're the ones that are out here. Hey, look, they are coming up with new ways of marketing drugs, making it colorful, selling fake fentanyl pills that look like legitimate prescription drugs, making these pills look like candy. Yep. I mean, there's a reason why they're doing it. I mean, that's marketing, and and they are just trying to take advantage of our kids and our family and our loved ones.
Nothing
And
more tragic.
so I like to put more of the blame on them, and that's why we are very aggressive here at DEA, enforcing both federal and state drug laws. But because, hey, look, we want to put these people in jail, in prison, for long periods of time for harming our families.
I love it. And I'm glad that the numbers are down, but I'm telling you what, I have to drive with my windows up because I can't go anywhere without smelling skunk weed. It's everywhere. I mean, since they legalized it in Missouri, it's everywhere. It's in the halls of apartments. You walk outside your front door, everybody's smoking weed. And I'm like, what has happened? When I was a kid, you went to jail for that. And now these guys are just walking around, smoking in the street. They're just, everybody's smoking weed. And it's shocking.
Yeah, look, I'm not surprised. I mean, I knew when it was, of course, recreational use marijuana was legalized in Missouri back in, I believe, 22. That something like this was going to, happen.
Who knew there were so many closet potheads? Who knew that?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. There's people you would never imagine.
Here's the thing: it's still not legal at the federal level.
That's right. I don't smoke. I stopped smoking it when I, grew up and decided not to put dangerous things in my body. But I'm glad that the numbers are coming down. And so since that's the trend, do you do this every year, this threat assessment?
Yes. Yeah, this is a yearly document that basically gives you an overview of what's going on at the national level.
Okay. So nationally, we're looking at this. Does it break down by state?
I don't believe that it breaks everything down by state. It's more of a national overview.
Okay.
Now, of course, if you're looking for local and state information, of course, you can come to DEA, and also you can look at CDC data.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the information, Michael, and it's very good news to hear that it's trending downward. I think we've got more conservative and people who care about their bodies, kind of kids being raised right now are coming up who watch their parents or maybe family members screw up their lives with drugs and are like, I don't want that for myself. So they're making better choices, and God bless them for doing so, but some will fall to this. And I pray for every family who loses somebody to drugs because it's an irrational fear that I have every single day that I'm going to get a phone call that another one decided to take something. But it's the world we live in. So if they want more information, Michael, where do they go? I have 30 seconds.
They can go to DEA.gov, G-O-V.
DEA.gov if you want to learn more about the National Drug Threat Assessment for 2025. He's the special agent at the DEA in the St. Louis Division, Michael Davis. Thank you for your time, sir.
No problem.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.